Hi guys, welcome back to OCD Recovery's YouTube channel. I am doing a video sat in the car today because I'm outside my daughter's taekwondo lesson and I just have to do things when I get the chance, really. So I want to talk about a little bit of a different one today, which is a compulsion that I had that I didn't really realise was a compulsion, and it isn't one that I've heard anyone else talk about. So that makes me feel like, I mean, I know someone else will have it because it's, you know, none of us are as unique as we think when it comes to our OCD experiences. And whenever I spoke about something before, I found someone else that has it. Obviously, it's good to not try and compare your experience to other people's, just because that can, you know, become a reassurance thing where we want to relate to someone, because then we feel like, oh, it's definitely OCD if I can relate to this person. But yeah, the compulsion, or the thing I was doing, which I cut more recently actually, even though I've been better for quite a long period, it was only, I'd say, about a month ago that I realised that I was using something to escape uncomfortable feelings, and I hadn't even realised I was doing it. So I was what I would call a serial dater. So I was on a lot of dating apps. I was always talking to people. I was going on like weekly dates. And I hadn't realised that I was doing it as a way of like having something to focus on that like wasn't something that stressed me out. So it wasn't like work, it wasn't like home life. Like I was using it as like a bit of a release, which is fine to have those things that we use as a release, but sometimes those things can kind of step over into becoming slightly compulsive. So I realized that if I didn't like have a date planned at the weekend, I would start to feel quite uncomfortable. I would feel like, oh, you know, but everyone else is out doing stuff and I'm kind of at home on my own, and I'm going to be bored, and I'm going to like overthink. And once I realized that I was doing that, I decided to have a hiatus. A hiatus? That's not the word. Is that the word? Regardless, I decided to stop dating for a while. So I decided that about a month ago. And every weekend I've been either staying at home. So this is on a Saturday night. I don't have my daughter. So that's the one night of the week that I feel a bit like a spare part. I don't really know what to do. So I have been either staying at home or been doing things with friends. But I mean, I rarely like kind of go on nights out anyway. It was kind of dating early on in the evening and then going home, just because I don't particularly like going out late and drinking the amount that I used to, just because I don't enjoy it anymore. I haven't enjoyed it in a long time, and usually I'm doing some form of exercise the next day as well, so I like to feel fresh for that. I can't remember the last time I had a drink, and you know, that's not an avoidance thing, I wouldn't say, because I would quite happily have a drink, but it just doesn't really appeal to me. So I think also having lost like the social aspect of going out and drinking. Someone's got their music really loud in the car next to me, and I'm hoping you can't hear that. I'm really sorry if you can. So having lost the like social aspect of going out and drinking late at night and things, I think I kind of replaced that with dating. And as I said, so when I stopped dating, decided I wasn't going to for a while, I did feel quite uncomfortable, and that says to me that I may have been using it slightly compulsively, and to kind of get a feeling from it. I think I also was using it as like a bit of validation. So like I wanted to know that people liked me. I wanted to know that people found me attractive. So I think, yeah, there was definitely a validation element to it as well. So basically, there's nothing wrong with dating. Like I'm not saying you shouldn't date, but I mean, dating for the right reasons, I think, is important. You know, dating because you actually want to find a partner. Whereas I kind of looked at it and I went, I'm not looking for a relationship. So I'm not really dating for the right reasons. I'm dating just for that like short-term fix of feeling better, of just like feeling good in the moment. But I'm not actually doing it for a reason, any other reason than that. So yeah, I would just have a look if you're in a situation as well where you're like going on a lot of dates and spending a lot of time. That's another thing, is spending a lot of time on the like dating apps. So I think I would kind of do it when I was bored, like it's like a really like quick, brief, easy dopamine hit, just like swiping like on dating apps. So I think if I was feeling a bit bored or something, I would just spend time swiping on them. And as I say, there was no interest there. It was more like a validation thing, and I just don't want to be bored, or like I don't want to be on my own, but I don't actually want to be with anyone. So I think, yeah, if you're in a stage where you're dating at the moment, I think it's important to kind of look at the reasons why you're dating. You know, is it because you want a relationship out of it, or are you doing it as like a way to relieve a certain feeling, or a way to just feel like some form of validation? Because, you know, those aren't the right reasons to be dating. You can date for those reasons. It's, you know, it's not that there's anything wrong with doing that. But for me personally, I could see that I was using it in a kind of unhealthy manner. And as I said, by doing so, by stopping, the fact that I felt a bit uncomfortable about it and would kind of be feel a bit of a loss at weekends and be like, oh, I should be going and doing this. I should be out like dating. And the fact that I felt that way tells me that I wasn't doing it for the right reasons, and that having a break from that was actually really beneficial for me. And as I say, it's been about a month since I stopped, and funnily enough, that like desire I had constantly, that constant like going on dating apps, constantly arranging dates, going for dates, I just have no desire to whatsoever now. And that tells me that I was just using it a little bit compulsively. It just became like a bit of a like short-term fix that I needed, that I felt like I needed. Because if, you know, I took a month off and I was still thinking, oh, but I would like to go on them because, you know, I do want to find a relationship, then that would likely have meant that I was on there for the right reasons. But I've gone the opposite way, which says to me that was being used a little bit compulsively. And you'll find that once all of your like serious, like obvious compulsions have gone, that you will kind of find things over time, and you'll think, actually, am I using that a little bit compulsively? Like I have a bit of a problem with scrolling social media. Like I don't comment on anything, I don't like go on anything, but I have a problem with just mindless scrolling. And I know that's not general. I can't talk today. It's the last day of term and my last day of work for a week and a half, and I'm ready to relax. So my brain is just like signing off. And I know that that's not exclusively an OCD thing. That's also, you know, just the time we live in 2024, when everyone has social media and it's become such a big part of people's lives, and mindless scrolling is, you know, more common than ever. But that's something that I've had to work to reduce as well. And as I say, these things aren't greatly affecting me in any way, but they are little things that I'm picking up over time that I am kind of using as distractions for other things. And they're not healthy. They're not healthy distractions. There's there are such things as healthy distractions. Like, I love reading, I love exercising, I love spending time with friends and family, kind of offline, and just sitting and having a coffee, going for a walk. Like, I love things like that. Those are the things that make me happy, and those are the things that are healthy distractions. For, you know, when your mind is feeling a bit busy and you do need a little bit of a switch off, those are the kind of things that I prefer to I don't prefer to turn to. I prefer to turn to quick fixes, but they never leave you feeling good. They are just a short term. Things like dating apps, things like scrolling social media, and yeah. So when I find those habits and those slightly compulsive behaviors, I do try and cut them down. And I wouldn't say that provokes any kind of anxiety anymore, but I definitely feel a bit uncomfortable with it, which tells me that it needed to be cut out. And not cut out completely either. You don't have to cut things out completely. You know, anything you do could be compulsive. Going for walks, exercise, that can all become compulsive as well. It just depends on like the amount you're doing things, if you're only doing them when you're triggered. So for me, I would never say my exercising is compulsive, because I do it at like a set time every day, regardless of how I feel. So yeah, even if I did get up, feel triggered, and then exercise, that wouldn't be me trying to relieve a feeling, because that's just my routine. That's just me carrying on with what I would normally do. So things kind of become compulsive if you're like, oh, I feel a bit uncomfortable, oh, I'm just gonna do this. That's when you need to start looking at those behaviors. But yes, thank you very much. And if you want to access any of the one-to-one coaching services, just pop a email to phil@ocdrecovery.com. And if you have any particular topics you want me to cover on a video, just pop them in the comments below. Thank you.